Hi friend, welcome to another VTES video. Today we'll be trying to revive an age-old idea of using summon history to fetch big cap titled vampires and oust with politics. The twist is that we will be using the only Sabbath vampire with temporis available, Al-Muntathir, and we will be getting the best of pot of power, vamps, for maximum effect. We will be using new pot of power cards and new vote cards, combining them all with temporis modifiers and crypt acceleration, and see how this idea can work in the current meta. Let's go through the deck quickly. We have 5 copies of Al-Muntathir. His only basic advantage is that he is Sabbath, so can become pot of power and use the cards that we play. He also has superior temporis, presence. We have our best cards available for pot of power, like Aaradhya and Dark Selina, and some additional cards that you maybe will see played later today. We try to field Al-Muntathir first. We try to get our Crypt acceleration, 7 Zilla Valley, Information Highway, and Dreams of the Sphinx. Then the first thing we want to do, we want to summon History Ankara to have all our actions cheaper. That means that for cost of 5 blood we can summon Aaradhya. And if we influence another vampire at the same time, it could actually bring a fast advantage. For defense we have protected resources, because there is a lot of bleed out there. For oust we have damage outputting votes like Anarchist Uprising, Unseal Empowerment, Cold War, Empire's Fall, Kine, and Drains of Power. For defense we have Banishment and Political Stranglehold. We have some very important modifiers like Voter Captivation that should help us refuel our vampires that will be low on blood after getting summoned, and some stealth modifiers that will actually combine very well between temporis / something else card and new pot of power cards. Card that works very well, especially if you get to increase your vampire's number of votes somehow, is this modifier that doubles the votes of a vampire, or if a vote is called by Al-Muntathir, he can cancel a reaction card. We also have some deflections and redirections to help us defending for those pesky little bleeds. So I think you will enjoy watching this, and yeah, let's go into the game. Today we are playing a 5-player game. As always, we've skipped the opening turns so we can get straight to where the interesting decisions begin. Let's quickly introduce the table. Paul is playing Streck, Joao is on Banu Haquim V5, I'm sitting third with Al-Muntathir, Marcin is playing Lasombra V5, Breed and Vote, a deck you might have seen him pilot recently against my Matahari. And finally, Peitsa is playing Anarch Undue Influence Bleed. Thanks to Dreams of the Sphinx, we are able to influence Al-Muntathir on turn 2 and on turn 3 start acting with Summon History fetching the Ankara Citadel. So far, everything goes according to the plan. The only concern is our sitting. Being sandwiched between 2 political decks could make this a very difficult game. Paul's Maris is already struggling to defend herself against the Anarch Blitz. Looking for allies, Paul plays Rumors of Gehenna, choosing himself along with both our Predator and our Prey. The Coven arrives at exactly the right moment, allowing Al-Muntathir to summon Aaradhya, and immediately refill some of her blood to avoid wasting an action on hunting. At the same time, Selina enters play. Our board is starting to look quite impressive. After the game, I've learned that Joao's Banu Haquim deck was packed with combat. It runs 8 Hunter's Marks, 6 Priority Contracts, and 6 Ashur Tablets to recycle those key cards later in the game. About half of the cards in the deck is combat. On the defensive side, however, the deck is much lighter. 6 second traditions are indicating the deck main oust prevention tool is just rushing backwards. Looking at the cards we have available, we are actually quite fortunate that if Maris is ousted, the Anarch player becomes Joao's immediate priority instead of us. In what seems a one last attempt to stay alive, Paul plays Golconda on Maris, gaining 9 pull. The rest of the table, except Paul's Predator of course, says they'll try to help him survive long enough for him to influence another vampire. Unfortunately, by this point, everyone's options in delivering the promise are becoming very limited. Marcin, or Mieszko if you know him from Discord, is playing a titled Lasombra Breed and Vote deck. The plan of this deck is very straightforward. Princes create progeny, the board keeps growing. Eventually, political structure comes online, giving the deck overwhelming voting power, while consanguineous boons keep the pool total healthy. Like many successful breed decks, it doesn't try to win quickly. It simply becomes bigger every turn until the table can't stop it. Peitsa is playing an undue influence bleed deck. It's an Anarch presence bleed strategy built around mid and low capacity Ministry and Ravenous vampires. This is a variation of his deck that won an online tournament. It runs 20 copies of undue influence, 14 memory rifts, and 3 club illusions. The deck usually wants to do one thing: oust quickly. Its defensive package is fairly limited. When things go wrong for this deck, the answer is usually to keep moving forward even faster. In an unusual table talk/political move, Paul convinces Peitsa to ease off the pressure for a turn, so he can influence one more vampire that might become a problem for the rest of the table. The vampire turns out to be Leandro, the 11 capacity Malkavian inner circle, whose special ability taxes other players while they try to influence vampires. Maybe there wasn't quite enough bleed, or maybe Peitsa was simply feeling generous. We will never know. The effect is that Paul gets to play his Leandro. Like the other players, after the game Paul shared his decklist with me. He jokingly called the deck Pile of Garbage 3.0. Honestly, I think he's selling the deck short. It came under enormous pressure from the anarchs right from the beginning and never really had the opportunity to do what it was designed to do. And surprisingly, it's a vote deck with some very unusual interactions that could have been extremely annoying for us, like the range. So I am not exactly disappointed it never got going. Early pressure like this is becoming more and more common in today's VTS, and if your deck does not have any or another way of dealing with it, you might get to experience a rough and short game. As you can see, Leandro isn't enough to save Paul. He's ousted on the following turn, giving Peitsa his first victory point of the game and 6 pull. From our perspective, that's actually good news. Until now, both our Predator and our Prey were working against us. Now our Predator has to start looking backwards instead of only moving forwards. After a long conversation that I had to cut from the video, Joao manages to convince me to block a bleed for 1. The goal isn't really the bleed. He wants me to block and cycle cards and dig for the tools that would let him rush backwards and prevent him from being ousted by the anarchs. What we are watching here is probably Banu Haquim's final attempt to stop what increasingly looks like an unstoppable anarch assault. This is where things finally start coming together for us. Although Empire's Fall doesn't get through on our prey, we successfully summon Keen Eye. With the Coven already in play, the Priscus is immediately ready to contribute. We also managed to hunt twice, setting ourselves up for what should be a much stronger late game. Here you can watch how Peitsa claimed his second victory point of the game. The pressure from the Banu Haquim simply wasn't enough. Now only 3 players remain. At this point, our best guardian is the protected resources, together with whatever bleed bounce we can still draw. On the bright side, we've also reached a much simpler political landscape. No more cross-table justicars or inner circles. No more princes sitting behind us. From now on, the only opposing votes we really have to worry about are at our pre's disposal. This is one of the more interesting turns of the game. I'm not happy with the cards we're holding. After resolving the vote, you'll see me rescue one of my predator's torporized vampires. No deal, nobody asked me to do it. The only reason is the Keen Eye's special ability that says that as long as our predator controls more ready minions than we do, we get an additional hand size. And I decide that's worth giving up an action and 2 blood. And actually, it pays off immediately. The extra draw finds us a kind resources contested. Marcin's Lasombra deck demonstrates just how resilient it can be. He starts the turn on only 4 pull. After Consanguineous Boon for 8, he will finish his turn on 12 pull. In his minion phase, except Con Boon, he launches a heavy offensive against the Anarchs, including a conditioning bleed, dropping Peitsa from 13 pull all the way to 5. That's a massive swing. Now we have a real question. Will the Anarchs finish us first? Or with political structure finally online, the Lasombra will emerge from the shadows and steal the game for themselves? Or maybe, just maybe, there is still a way for the path of power to prevail? Here you can see me making a mistake that nobody noticed during the game, including me of course. I only spotted it while I was editing the video. Cold War was used both to burn pull from my prey and destroy Club Illusion. The problem is that the political action was called by Keen Eye, who is a Priscus. To get both effects, the action has to be called by a cardinal. Fortunately, the mistake didn't change the outcome of the game. Protected resources already had us covered against the larger bleeds, and by the stage the Anarch player was running short on blood anyway, so paying for extra bleed from the Club Illusion was unlikely a thing he would want to do. Still, it's a good reminder that even after all these games and tournaments, we all make mistakes. I'll definitely be more careful next time. With about 15 minutes remaining, we enter the final stage of the game. Marcin's attempt to oust Peitsa is stopped by Vox Domini. Even so, the progeny keep chipping away with bleeds for 1, slowly bringing the Anarchs closer to collapse. Peitsa knows he has to finish the game now. We are sitting on 6 pull, and behind us is a bleed of 6. Fortunately, we've been holding on to 2 bleed bounces. 2 additional bleeds for 2 at 1 stealth are enough to finish off our prey thanks to Peitsa's blitz. Realizing he can no longer keep up with political pressure, Peitsa concedes. Considering where we started, sitting between politics on one side and combat with politics on the other, that's a result I'm very happy with. We survive, and we finish the game with 3 victory points,